Welcome to Advanced Toastmasters Pursuing Excellence. I'm Dean Phillips, your host. I have with me Michelle Holden. Welcome, Michelle.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. Good morning.
How has Toastmasters helped your storytelling?
You know, Dean, it's such a great question. And a lot of people come to Toastmasters and they really don't know what to expect or what they're going to get from it. I will tell you two things. The first one is you directly get out of Toastmasters what you put into it. If you just show up to meetings and you listen to other people speak and you don't get on those pathways and you don't learn the lessons you're supposed to learn, Toastmasters is a nice group of friends, but it actually won't really help you. What you will learn from Toastmasters, if you take it seriously, is that it's not only a fantastic collection of people, it really attracts wonderful, giving, loving people. I love Toastmasters. I will always be a Toastmaster. But what it does for your storytelling is it streamlines it and it forces you in a timed sequence to come up with a beginning, a middle, and an end, an action item. What is my purpose in telling this story? Why am I telling it? When I talk, sometimes I have to condense what was a 30 or a 60-minute speech into 5 or 7 minutes. That's really difficult to do. That takes so much practice. I have to then think, what am I really trying to tell these people? What is this story about? What do I want them to walk away with? Toastmasters will help you streamline what you're trying to say. Look at it like a filter. If you were panning for gold and you were shaking it out, it's going to get rid of everything else and it's going to keep the gold. That's what Toastmasters does for you.
What secret sauce have you discovered to be a better leader or speaker?
Interestingly enough, I have a master's in strategic leadership, and I have been blown away by how the pathways mirror my master's. And for me, it's been, for somebody else, it might be brand new learning, like, oh, this is good. Or you might say, well, I've read lots of stuff like this. This is kind of fluff. It's really not. It's mirroring a master's in strategic leadership. People always say, why do we talk about leadership all the time? This is a talking club. It's where leaders are made. It is a speaking club. It is also a leadership club. If you follow through all the pathways, you will accidentally become really good at what you do. You will have a bigger, more, my dad used to use the word largesse all the time. You will think with largesse, and you will understand how to communicate with all types of people in your audience, whether that's 2 people in your office, 5 or 10 people in your office, and you'll learn how to speak to different types of personalities at the same time because you're aware of body language. You know what that person is accidentally saying back to you. It's a wonderful, I call it a mini master's in leadership.
Very good. What business tools have you learned from Toastmasters?
Really, Dean, the biggest thing, and I'm an executive coach, I will tell you exactly what I've taken away and what I teach. And sometimes I even marvel at how inexpensive Toastmasters is for the lessons that you learn. There used to be a game, I don't know if anyone watched it, called Supermarket Sweep, and you would run through aisles and get as much as you could. I call Toastmasters Supermarket Sweep. You are grabbing as many tools as possible. And when I speak to people, sometimes I only have a few minutes to make a big impression and to help them with a large problem. I get people sometimes who will say, Michelle, I'm going in for the interview of a lifetime. I know I shouldn't do this, but I've got 10 minutes. Speak to me. I have to, on the spot, be able to consolidate my thoughts, effectively pass them along to another person. Here's the trick. I have to make them usable. The person I'm speaking to has to be able to grab onto something I said, and they have to be like a monkey and go do it. They have to remember what it was. Part of Toastmasters is not only giving other people, but also taking. You have to know what the lessons are that are being taught. In other words, you don't just go into Toastmasters and say, oh, I haven't done a speech in a while. What number am I on that pathway? What's today's thing? Oh yeah, I can bang that out. And I'll sort of make this speech work for that thing so I can check a box off. That is not the way to go through Toastmasters, not because you're breaking any rules, because you're cheating yourself. You're not getting what you should be getting. When I go through, I take those lessons seriously and I think, how will that lesson benefit me? At this point, I have a lot of self-knowledge. I've been in Toastmasters probably 12 years. I have a lot of Toastmasters knowledge. And people could say, why do you stay? Didn't you already get what you needed? Yes, but what they don't realize is those tools need to be sharpened all the time. I can tell you right now that last year, sorry about that. Last year, I spoke about 54 times. Every time I went to a Toastmaster meeting, I spoke. I wanted to get through and get into my fourth pathway. My goal is to get through all 11. I'm not leaving anything on the table. Supermarket sweep, right? I'm grabbing everything. This is what you have to do. You have to be a little bit selfish when you go through Toastmasters and say, what are you going to give me? What am I going to learn? And then here's the selfless part. What am I going to turn around and teach and train other people? Forget people who come to you like on a coaching level. Don't your kids come to you? Don't your parents come to you? Don't your friends come to you? Don't you want to be able to give good, worthwhile advice to people? You can only give good advice if it's up here. This is a training course where we're constantly training. What do I get from Toastmasters at this point? It's almost like the Bible. You know how you go through and it's called the living word and you keep learning something from 2,000 years ago, it's still applicable today? I think Toastmasters is like that. I've gone through 3 complete pathways. I'm into my 4th one. I'm still learning, even though there's repetition. Repetition, by the way, you could say, well, I ate yesterday. Why are you eating today? I still need to eat today. Toastmasters is something that you have to look at in this way that you're constantly getting something. If you're looking, and if you're a lifelong learner, which a lot of Toastmasters are, you're constantly getting something. And I will leave you with this. If I stop talking at Toastmasters and I haven't spoken in 2 or 3 weeks, I feel it. Can I go in and give a good speech? Yes, I can, because I'm trained and I know what the rules are and I know time management and I know I need to punch it out there at the end, but I can feel it. I feel the deficit. I can tell I'm not as sharp. I missed that moment. My finger wasn't quite on the pulse. I feel it. Other people might tell me, hey, that was fantastic, but I know the truth. And that is that this is a practiced skill, just like working out a muscle. This is a practice skill that you must do repetitively.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for being here today, Michelle. And please join us for an Advanced Toastmasters Pursuing Excellence meeting on the 2nd, 4th, or 5th Monday. Come see us, 8:15 Eastern, 7:15 Central.
Wonderful. Thanks for being with me, Dane.
Thank you.
See you later.